hope you're having a wonderful Saturday. Welcome back to Crafters TV. I've eaten a lot of chocolate, so I don't know how this show is going to go, whether I have a sugar sort of crash somewhere in the middle, who knows. I hope you're having a super Saturday. This is the Craft House, which means that we fling the doors of the studio wide open and get some of our crafty friends over, which is always awesome. Very sorry that we couldn't come to you on time. It was Debbie. She was being a diva. She said, no, I'm still having a cup of tea. You're going to have to wait. It wasn't that at all. We're having some technical difficulties.
Actually, Joe, it was Joe going to get chocolate and he got it for himself and didn't get me any. So.
I know. My TV wife is not happy at all. Debbie is, of course, here. But do you know who else is here? Only blooming Sharon Callis herself. How are you, Sharon?
Hey!
So lovely to have you with us on the show. Now, obviously, Sharon, I know who you are, but for any of our viewers that are not familiar with you, how long have you been crafting and what got you started? And also, where are you, Sharon?
Well, currently I'm at home in Ireland, so broadcasting live from County Louth in Ireland.
Nice.
And yeah, it's a cold night, but delighted to be here.
Fabulous. Well, I know you've got loads of lovely stuff that you're going to take us through the show. So sit tight, Sharon. I'll be coming back to you really, really soon. And I will be asking you about the sat-nav story. Just to warn you, in the second half of the show, you will hear the best story you have ever heard when it comes to navigation. That'll be thanks to Sharon. So I'll see you very soon, Sharon. Loads of you are getting in touch with me already, which is fantastic. Remember, it's very easy to get in touch with us. What you can do is you can contact me over on Facebook, Crafters TV, or of course across on YouTube, where it will be Crafters Companion. Loads on this show for you. Debbie, we've got lots of it's only a matter of time before I call Debbie Sharon and Sharon Debbie. I can feel it coming. We've got lots on the show, haven't we? Loads of inspiration. What we're going to learn over the next hour or so.
Do you know what? I am absolutely so looking forward to this show because Sharon does the most amazing things and she's going to talk you through so much stuff. But I just found it hard to pick my favourite samples because the succulents are on. I think this is the best range ever. It is just incredible, from the pots to the background embossing folders to the actual succulents that you can see. There is so many different techniques that you can use. But if you want your sentiments, I mean, wow, look at these bold, beautiful sentiments that you're going to be able to use in all of your crafting. These are some of my favourites. And then if you want butterflies, we've got incredible butterflies on the show as well, Joe. And on top of it all, we have the most amazing frames, which are just beautiful. You're going to be able to create the most opulent looking cards ever with the frames. And they're all designed by Sharon Callis. How talented is this lady?
She really, really is. Lots of you saying hi and checking in as well from all over, all everywhere from Carolina to Colorado to Montana, Texas, Michigan. Lots of you tuning in, which is brilliant. Before we go back to Sharon, I just want to give you a heads up of some of the other stuff that is on the show. We're going to look firstly at the From the Heart collection. If you love your stamping, you're going to absolutely adore this. A great, great price on that collection too, for 6 brilliant stamp collection as 40% off there, which is wonderful. We're also going to have the Butterflies and Blooms collection a little later in the show as well. Again, a great saving, almost half price here on this one, which is brilliant. And they are gorgeous. We will be seeing those as we go through the show a little later. And the lace frames, which are beautiful, they're like the most decorative, ornate nesting dies, how I like to think of them, and they're half price as well. You've got great deals in this show, which is awesome. The other thing as well, of course, these have taken us by storm here in the UK, across in the US as well. This sensational succulents collection, 46 elements in here, a brilliant, brilliant deal for you as well on these. If you haven't seen these yet, you are going to absolutely love them. Right, we're going to go back to Sharon. I know Sharon's going to take us through everything you get in this collection. Sharon, what was the inspiration behind this? Because I must say, it is totally different to anything I've ever seen out there on the market.
Okay, you know I'm obsessed with flowers and plants. I have every rose dye, every daisy dye under the sun, but sometimes you want something a little different. And succulents are just so in at the moment. Wherever you go, they're on t-shirts, they're on bed linen, they're on home decor. But succulents are supposed to be plants that will survive anything.
Yeah.
I've had succulents that have gone.
Fair enough.
No,
Yeah.
official plant killer here. So I've gone into stores and I've seen even the smallest plants, you know, €7, which is about £6 or $6. And my kids were obsessed with them, my friends were obsessed, and I said, well, let's see what we can do with paper.
Perfect.
And that's where the collection came out of.
Fantastic. Okay then, so take us through what exactly we're getting in there, if you will.
Okay, so in this collection, right, this is a capsule collection. There's just so much in this for card making, for home decor, for gift giving, for wreaths, for making bunting, for everything. So I'll go through the plants first for you.
Brilliant.
So the first one that we have is the Lila Chime. Now these dies themselves are a new concept in quilling dies. So if you've never done quilling before, I'll explain the concept to you now in a few minutes in a demo. But if you have done quilling before, you are more familiar with a single die that you would have to cut twice and layer. This die does it all for you. So it's one cut, one fold, one roll, and all of the plants function that way. So it's just so easy. If you've been put off by quilling before, this is the easiest quilling you will ever do.
Awesome.
So this is the Lila China. And then next we have the baby aloe. So on this plant, there's little spikes on them as well to add to the realistic nature of the plant. So after the Lila China or the baby aloe, you get the neon breaker. They're a bit squished at the moment, but they're very robust. So as you can see, if you make cards and they get squished, you can actually just plump them back up again. So with the neon breakers, we have the Jade. Now, I've had a few messages online about the Jade and some people are finding it tricky, but don't worry, I'll show you a couple of tricks on how to do this. So easy. Once you do one, you'll be flying.
Awesome.
Because this plant is different from the others where this is tall. So this extra wide seam in the middle helps you to get the dimension on that. It's very easy. And here's the most popular that I'm finding at the moment is the swordgrass. So all you do is just one strip on this, you cut it, you quill it, and then you've got your little grasses. So this is the simplest one of them all to do. And it's very versatile because you could use it for so many different collections. Very maiden. This is my favorite one. I think this one is so much fun. And these plants are generally bright in the center with an orange or a dark brown tip. And then as they grow, they get darker. And then, so that's all the 6 plants. So with the plants then we have other elements. So this is the plant pot. In the die itself, you'll notice there's some detail. So if you run that through your machine with the embossing mat, it'll bring out that detail, then give it a light sanding back, and that's how you'll get all your dimension. And use that on your card front with 3D gel, maybe curved, or with some foam pads, and it'll give it a dimension. In plants then, you have your little label, so you can stamp sentiments on these. You can use them as little stoppers or as notes, gift tags, or a name plate on the front of your little pot. So there's a lot you can do with those. But this one I love. This is the plant pot poke. So you get the base, but you also get the tab for over that. So you can stamp on this, change out the sentiment, and cut this. You can cut this from card as well, paper, to make it sturdy. Put some glossy accents on it, makes it a little shine on it and a little waterproof. So that's the elements. But then we have some. Sorry, Joe?
Yep.
So we have these embossing folders. We have 4. So this one is the GeoWire trellis. The next we have the succulent frames. Then we have the garden frame. I like this one because there's a blank space in the center. So you can put your tags, your labels on that, put a couple of plants on the bottom, and it just gives dimension and lift to the back. And then the final embossing folder is the terrarium. So there's a lot of detail in this. And what I like to do with this is get out my Spectrum Noir metallic markers and bring out the detail in the frame, glitter markers to bring out the plants in the background, and then put your plants down the side of it and gives a lovely finish. And also in the collection is a stamp set. Now this stamp set also comes with a set of outline dies. So you can stamp, colour, cut them out, arrange them in the background, and you have sentiments down here that you can add to your plant tags. And they say things like stuck on you, or sorry for being prickly, or I'm rooting for you. Just some fun sentiments for the little tags. So that's everything in that collection.
It is absolutely gorgeous and stunning. I love the little signpost, Sharon, because I actually bought a succulent the day before yesterday I was out, and I love going to the like the stalls, and they always have the little pots in with the prices, don't they, on the little markers, and that's what it makes me think of. And they are, as you said, so popular at the moment, especially terrariums and all the little things. I think it's an absolutely genius collection. They're the dies that you're going to get in there as well. Now, let me just break down that value for you, because it is absolutely awesome. If you are a Club Inspired Platinum member, well, everyone's going to say 41.86 or 58.30, which is awesome. Platinum members, though, you can get this for 61.60 or 84.80, which isn't that far off of a half-price deal for something that has been so incredibly popular. A lot of you absolutely love this collection too. Sarah's Creation says, I love the fact I can cut them in one pass, much easier. Love the way Sharon's designed them. Jane says, my son collects succulents. He says, I should get this collection. Who am I to deny my child? Absolutely, Jane. Renee's already ordered these as well. Linda says, a plant I can't kill. Karen says her sister says she can kill an artificial plant, so she's making her some of these. I think that really is an excellent idea. If you want to grab them, we have them right now. They're in stock. I know you've loved them, and they've been very popular. Debbie, I know you absolutely love these, don't you? And I think they are, again, very different to anything we've seen before, but also very on trend as well.
They're so on trend, and what I love about them is how beautiful they are to make, and you won't know that till you get them. And when you physically make these, you just want to be doing more and more. So I've worked out a really cool way of how we can make this such a beautiful succulent. I mean, it already is. Now, because I'm using the Gemini, it means I can cut through two pieces of paper at the same time. Card. This is card out of our paper pad. So I believe, I'm just going to check what so it's 230, so it's quite a good weighting card. But because I've got the Gemini, I'm going to cut through two pieces in one pass. So I'm just going to lay it on to those two and then show you. There's a reason I'm cutting out two, because I wanted to show you, and Sharon will do more as she goes through the show. I just wanted to show how we can really manipulate the petals, and we can also build them up as well. We don't just have to use one. So let's take those ones out. I love the way these are all shaped with you. I love even more the fact that we have this perforation down the middle. I mean, Sharon has really thought about this when she has constructed them and designed them. They are so amazing. Now, what you do need to do is fold them back on themselves so you still see the outside edge. So I'm going to fold it first of all down, all down that perforated middle. And then what we're going to do, I'm actually going to bring in, Joe, is my stamping mat. So I'm going to bring the stamping mat in, and I'm going to use our ball tool that we use with our foam flowers.
Okay.
Now, and I love this idea that we can start to form a mould almost. So I've got my biggest ball tool, but I'm using the smaller end, and I'm just going to go in and use this just in circular motions, and you can see already that's almost sort of creating that cradle for us. And it's just really moulding those leaves into the shape that I believe the Lila China should be. Now, when you come to do the other side, you need to turn it over. Because we're going to be folding these together, you want to do it the opposite way because it will work out the same way. So I think that makes sense.
Yep.
So just pop in that toy in there. You don't have to be precise. All we're doing is using our mat because we've got that sort of soft mat. You might have, if you haven't got a stamping mat, you might have just that foam block that you get with your ball tools. That's perfectly fine. And then we're just going to fold that back up. And then what we're going to do, Joe, is we're going to put a line of red liner tape. Now, I'm using the 3mm. It is the perfect size that goes on the bottom of that strip. So I'm going to pop this on just at the bottom and run it along. You haven't got to worry about gluing the two together because it really makes no difference when you're quilling the flower. And then we're just going to trim that off. So once we've got that in place, I'm just then going to take my finger and run that down the centre just to give that a sort of curve, and that will help us on our way. Red liner tape,
is there any other options?
You can, you know what, Joe, you could do, I've just took the red liner tape off, didn't take the back in, the whole thing come off. You could use a wet glue, but it could be a bit messy. Okay. So what I would suggest is red liner tape. If you haven't got red liner tape, you could just run your tape pen down that edge. Just make sure you've got a piece of paper underneath because obviously you've only got a 3mm, 4mm strip at the bottom.
Awesome.
So now I'm going to be using a quilling tool, but you don't have to use a quilling tool. You could use tweezers, you could use the end of your scissors, anything that you can just turn it round. And then, and actually, you don't actually need anything, Joe. You could just turn it in your fingers and you will still get that beautiful shaped flower. So just turning it round, and because can you see where all those petals are all moulded, they're all turning into each other. So that is going to give you the perfect little flower, and then we can just slightly bend all these petals out. I call them petals, but I assume they're leaves really, aren't they? And you're getting that gorgeous design. So straight away you're getting a flower, which is gorgeous in its own right, Joe. But I've got one here which I've already, can you see the difference? Yeah. I've put more onto here. So what I am going to do, I'm going to build up another one. So I've got one already done that I've already did exactly the same to the other, but I'm going to continue to build this up just to show you how easy it is. So I'm just going to pop this into here. So you know how you get bigger succulents? Mm-hmm. This is all you would do to make a bigger succulent with this. You would just keep building up your flowers.
And you go from, once you've gone from, so you start quilling at the narrowest end to the largest end. Yep. But then you go from the largest end back to the narrowest end.
Yeah, it doesn't matter because all that does is it fills it out. So then when you come, look at this. Right. If we pour this out, oh, I'm just going to stick that down a bit better. You pull them out and all it does is it almost makes it bushier and it enables you to sort of build these up. That bit does not want to stick. I wonder if that's actually got glue on there. I'm going to just put some extra glue on the bottom just to stick that into place.
It's nice.
Yeah, and there we go. So we've created that really beautiful flower, but in a bigger size to the smaller one. And then if you want to, I'm just going to bring in an ink pad because the Lyra China has sort of reddish browny ends sort of on them. So we can come in with our ink pad and just take the ends off there. And it just gives an amazing, I mean, really incredible flower. These are just beautiful. And that's only one in the range, Joe.
Yeah, absolutely. You don't need to water it.
You don't need to water it.
I've just bought a new succulent. Let's start taking a bet on how long it will last, Debbie. Who knows? But they are brilliant. The great thing about it is I think the variation of things that you can do with them as well. Do you want to make those cute little pots that you can see there? Maybe you actually want to take some small terracotta pots and put arrangements in them. There's nothing to stop you putting these into, you know, a little bit of on some stones, as some of these are. You could obviously add them to different things. I love the idea of using them in a glass jar as well. The wheelbarrow is super, super cute. Absolutely love that. I'm going to wheel it back over here so you can see it. I mean, how awesome is that? They are fantastic. They are great on cards. This one, let me just bring this one down to show you as well, because this one I just think is absolutely fabulous with the upside down jar. It's like a ship in a bottle, isn't it? Absolutely wonderful. The other thing as well is everyone is loving these on socials. MD says these are mind-blowing. Also, Sarah's Creation saying, love that you can make them better. Evelyn's loving them as well. Who is it that just said? Someone just talked about using the the little tag one on the post to label their herb garden, which I think was a really, really lovely way to use these. Sharon, there's lots of different ways you can use this, isn't there? And lots of different things you can put them onto. They seem to just fit in anything, really.
In anything. You know, you can even put them in a bridal bouquet.
Yeah.
I mean, think of autumn coming up as well. What a mix they would be in, you know, with your dark colours and your tones as well.
Mm. Yeah,
you know, not just home decor. You know,
yeah,
cards and gifts and tops of boxes in your frames, even on wall decor, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. They are fantastic. Everyone seems to be loving them. A lot of people have them already. If you've already got these and you've been making things with them, send us a picture, studio@craftscompanion.co.uk. But Sharon, I know you've got more, haven't you, that you wanted to share with us on these?
I do, yeah. I'm going to show you the Jade because that's the most popular question that I'm getting on social media. But also on my Sharon Callis Crafts website, under tutorials, there are tutorial print-offs for all of the succulents. So you can go there and download those for free.
Brilliant, that's great to know.
I'm going to talk to you about the Jade because this one does look different from the others. So on this, you do get your 2 petal sides, but in the center, instead of 2 rows, you've got 4. And the reason for that is this plant is dimensional. So this one has to grow up. So this is what the spine does for you.
Okay.
So when you cut this out, so I've just cut this out to save time. Now, we did have paper pads, but they have sold out. So I'm going to show you how you can have the same effects as the tonal pads using some ink pads and green cardstock. This is from the textured cardstock pad.
Awesome.
I love those pads because you can sand them, you can colour them, and they're sturdy as well. So in the centre of this, so you've got 3 perforated line. You always fold on the centre. But before we do that, I'm going to actually show you how to a little bit of colour before you shape your plant. It's always easier to colour before you shape.
Okay.
So simply, I'm going to go down the centre with some of the Harmony Smoked Emerald pigment. And because this won't be seen, you don't have to be fancy with it. I'm using that as a guide so I can go halfway up these petals. And it's just as quick as dabbing. And then down the other side. You don't have to overdo it because the ink pads they're very juicy. So it'll come, a lot of ink will come out on your pad. And then I'm going to flip it over and go up the center and then up this side as well. So that's how simple that is to add a little bit of color there. But on the tips, I'm going to take the Plum Jam Harmony ink pad, and all you do is rub it off the tip. And then you do the same on the back, just flick it at the back. And when you've done that down both sides, this is what you'll end up with. Now I want to add a little dimension to these as well. So I'm bringing out my stamping pad. I like this or if you have a flower forming pad, you can use that with the ball tools, but I prefer this because of the bounce back that's on it. Now, when I fold this over, the petals will face that way. So when I'm shaping them, I'm going to work this side first and just a little bit in the center, very quickly, working it down all the way to the bottom. Doesn't take a lot because of the pad.
Do you find this
quite in the center? It will curve.
Do you find it quite a therapeutic craft, this one, Sharon?
I do, yeah, because it's relaxing, or you can take your tension out on the pad. So I've done down one side. I don't do the same on this side because if I do, when I fold it, we'll end up with a cup. You know, they let meet in the middle. So what you have to do is, when you've done left, flip it over and then do the left again. It's simple as that.
Okie doke.
So I've done that down the middle.
Everyone is following along at home.
Now, so I don't know if you can see that. Do you see them a wave?
Yep.
So they're going one way and then the other. But when I fold along the middle, just like that, they're all facing the same direction.
Fantastic.
Now, so I'm going to give that another pressing down the center. Now we're going to do the assembly. There's two ways of doing this. You can use a quilling tool, or you can use a tweezers. Or, I suppose a third, is you can use a cocktail or a barbecue stick.
Okie doke.
Because some people find it tricky. So what I'll do is, I'm going to do it with the quilling tool first, and then very quickly do it with the barbecue stick. So, I want to add red liner tape to this. Do not put it here on the bottom line. Put it closest to the petals. So if you're right-handed, like me, have it that way. If you're left-handed, have it that way.
Okie doke.
You know, make it easier for yourself. So I'm right-handed, so I'll put it this way. And I've the 3mm red liner tape. There's 3 and 6. I prefer the 3mm. So I'm just going to put a strip down this center. You can use liquid glue, but it takes longer to dry, and this is an instant grab. So I'm going to take off the backing, which is a nuisance for me. I can't get it, and sometimes when you ink, it tends to stick to the red backing.
It's you're not on your own there, Sharon. I don't think. I think there'll be a lot of crafters nodding along in agreement with you about red liner tape. But it does give you a really good stick, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. But how many of us have gone to the shops with a trail of the red backing plastic stuck to your shoes or your clothes, your hair? I mean, I've done that so many times. No, sorry. I'm also a bit blind. There we go. Okay,
awesome.
So we take off that. Now, to quill this, you are going to quill down the quilling tool. Okay, but to start it off, you put the quilling tool in at an angle, like that. So it's around 45 degrees. Bend the tip over the quilling tool with your finger, and then start to twist. And what you'll notice is, the end here will meet the middle perforation line. You see? I might need to get a bit closer for you.
So you're
turning
So you're doing it on an angle then?
at an angle, because you want to twist down the quilling tool and
Right.
use this perforation line as a guide.
Ah,
to the
okay.
bottom.
So would you say it's roughly
see?
about a sort of 45-degree angle, or a bit less than that?
Bit less.
A little bit less.
Yeah,
okay.
until jiggle it until you can get the bottom line to meet the perforation line.
Okay.
See?
Yep.
And you just keep going. And
That's
you
amazing.
see it gets taller and taller. And don't worry about it being thick, it just goes down the quilling too. Then when you get to about an inch left, stop the angle and just bring it across
Okay.
to meet up. And then to get it off the quilling tool, put your nail or your thumb against the paper and pull out the tool.
Perfect.
Like that. So there's your tall plant. And then you just play around with the petals. You can move them out. And you see your centre is still there.
That's really, really clever. I've looked at that so many times and thought, I wonder how that goes together. But see you do it there, Sharon. I mean, it's once you just know the concept and you've made one, it's going to be something that's going to be quite simple, isn't it?
Exactly, yeah. You can just take it easy. Once you put the tape or the glue on the side that's near the petal, that extra bit is just to help you move it down the stick. I'll show you real quick with a cocktail stick or the barbecue.
Okay.
Because some people prefer that. So we just have to imagine our petals are shaped and fully inked, you know, yada, yada, yada. I'm just going to give it a little wipe because the ink is still wet. Okay.
Oh, I'm imagining, Sharon, I'm imagining. A lot of lovely comments about this demonstration. Mary Pat's already saved this to watch later. Aisha says she's going to be saving this again so she can come back and watch this. Beth says these are absolutely adorable. I don't know if she means us lot or the collection, Sharon, but I'm going to go with both.
Oh, she means you, Joe.
Hardly. Karen says as well, was having trouble with the Jade one. Finally makes sense. I can do this one now, so thank you, Sharon.
You're very welcome. And like I said, there's instructional sheets up on the website as well that you can download.
Perfect.
Okay, so this is just a barbecue skewer. And I'm just putting it at an angle, wrapping it round, letting it grab, and then just rolling it down.
Perfect.
You just roll it down, keep going to the end.
Because I guess
red liner tip.
The red liner tape is not sticking to the cocktail stick because it's sticking to the... In my head, I'm thinking, well, how does it come off? But it's sticking to the extra perforated line, isn't it?
Exactly. And even at this stage now, I can just pop that out.
Perfect.
And then just continue on and just finish it off at the bottom. There you go.
How fabulous is that? Thank you so much for sharing that with us, Sharon. Sharon, we'll be back to you really, really soon. Sarah's Creation says, wow, just wow, Sharon. And they are amazing. They really are. They are so different. They're so unlike anything that's out there. And I actually think, of course, it's about crafting, card making, but I think you could actually buy this along with something like a Gemini Mini or a Gemini Midi and give this to someone that maybe isn't necessarily a crafter, someone maybe that's into their gardening, loves their horticulture, and they would absolutely adore putting these together. I think they are really, really fantastic. I want to just show you a couple of the other samples that I've got here before we cross back to the lovely Debbie. Look at this. I think this is awesome. And do you know what? That on a shelf, I don't think you'd know, unless you come up close and inspect it, that wasn't actually a living succulent. Wonderful for little things like new home, this one just here. I absolutely adore this one. The sword grass, I think, is absolutely fantastic that you've got in here. And of course, they're going to look gorgeous on things like your cards as well. Let me just bring this one in, because to give that, you know, as a piece of home decor to someone would be absolutely fantastic. That's the kind of thing that you go into a homeware store. We've got homeware stores near me. They're not homeware stores, though. They are Scandinavian homeware stores, that, you know, super fancy posh ones that play nice music and sell really expensive candles. If that was something in one of those stores, you'd be looking at £30–40 easily. You can make these quickly and easily yourself. And Debbie actually is going to take us through an awesome project.
Yeah, definitely. So I thought, what have we got in our stash? What can we use? And I was doing the flower forming last week, and I thought we do the template for this little basket, and I thought it would be ideal. So I've used one of Sharon's stamps just on the front, just tied some string around it, but I thought this would really lend itself to fill with these beautiful succulents. So I've got the Merry Maiden, I've got the baby aloe, and the sword grass, and you can see I can fit 3 on my Gemini A4 cutting machine, cutting plates. But obviously you can use these. In fact, I've got a feeling, Joe, that none are bigger than 3 inches. So you could probably use them as little as on your Mini. It just means that you'd have to put one side in the folder and then turn it around and put the other side. But saying that, I don't think they're bigger than 6 inches either. So I think that they will possibly go through there. So we're just running them through and cutting out all 3 in one pass. So I thought it'd be good to show you some different ones and how we can put it into, and I'm just going to check while we're there, just checking. Yep, that feels hot. I just want my glue gun for this one. So we're going to pop our folders to one side and then take out these. The sword grass, obviously, I think is everybody's favourite, and it feels nice, Joe. Do you know where you could sit and play with it?
Very tactile, isn't it?
Yeah, it feels like grass. You know, when you were kids, did you ever get blades of grass and just split them with your fingernails? Did you ever do that? No. No, of course, Joe didn't do that.
You know, your own
And
Georgina
this one-
did.
Yeah, this one would look like, it looks like a jungle. Do you know, like a lion looking through the grasses?
It really does, doesn't it?
How amazing is that? So don't have that wasted. That is a great die cut in its own right. But we don't need it at the moment. Then we've got the Merry Maiden, another great one. And I'm just going to quill these, Joe. I'm not
Merry
going to worry.
Maiden sounds like a character from Robin Hood.
Robin
doesn't
Hood,
she? Yeah.
yes, absolutely. And then take out this one, which I absolutely love. The baby aloe is gorgeous. It's got these really sort of prickly leaves on the top. Just looks amazing. So we're going to very quickly just pop all these together. And you can see how easy they come together, how easy it is to not do anything to them, and then have them looking like amazing succulents. So just folding these in half. We don't need to fold the grass because that doesn't have a folded line, because obviously you've got all the grass there and everything when it's twine will be good. So what I want to do is grab my red liner tape and we're going to pop that on. I would definitely say if you're going for this collection or you've got the collection, just get yourself some red liner tape to make it all very easy, because it honestly, you don't get no mess. It's on there straight away. So, and I'm pretty sure we've got some on the website, and it's the 3mm that you want. So let's pop some on our Merry Maiden. Or it sounds like a Voyager, doesn't it, as well?
Merry Maiden.
Like
Yeah,
as
it
if
does.
it should be on the side of a ship.
Yeah, no, it does indeed. Lots of people loving these. Barbara saying so many possibilities. Pegs has told my husband I bought a succulent at the farmer's market today and he thought it was something to eat. Oh dear.
Did it
Don't
taste
eat them.
succulent?
I couldn't work out why they were called succulents. It didn't seem to me like when you look at them, because I thought they don't look very juicy, which is what you'd imagine succulent things to
yeah,
be.
absolutely.
But apparently they store a lot of water
yes.
inside them.
Absolutely.
Which is why I got mine, gave it a good water, it was bone dry, and now it's drunk all the water. It's bone dry again.
Yes.
And I completely soaked it. I don't want to keep watering it because I think I might
Yeah, you know,
kill
you
it.
shouldn't do that. They say you should let it go quite dry before you water again. So all I'm doing is quilling this up to get our beautiful succulent. And the Merry Maiden is what, oh, I've done it the wrong way, but never mind. So what I did do, Joe, is I'd done the big side first and not the smaller side.
Okay.
So, but it doesn't matter. It just means in the centre, you won't have those smaller stamens because it's actually come out quite a larger. But we're going to pop it into that little pot, so that's fine. Now, the grass, you could keep the grass where you just keep it all straight, but I actually quite like to manipulate mine. So, because I always find grasses go in different ways. So
I reckon
I
I'd get away with wearing those as lashes, you know.
Oh,
I reckon I'd
yeah,
chip
can you
those down and
imagine?
have a lovely big pair of lashes out of those.
You certainly would. So I'm just doing these sort of different ways, just a little bit, just to give it some more interest. So then when we come to quilling this up, it will be fabulous. And grasses are a little bit like that. And what's nice with this one, Joe, this is definitely one you can just keep putting layer after layer after layer. And you know where you get those really big grasses, you could have a really big one coming out of a pot.
Nice.
And it'll look amazing.
I bet you could make it really big, or
I mean,
like a spider
look at
plant or
that.
something.
It's
really
just
cool.
so clever, and it looks so realistic. That's amazing. And to be able to do these, and the reason I wanted to do 3, I'm putting 4 different ones in my pot, but I wanted you to see how quick these are to make and to put together without doing anything else. I haven't even put my ball tool on these. I haven't tried to shape them in any way. I mean, look at the spiky leaves on there. They just look incredible. And then the other one I done, this one was, I think, the neon breaker, this one. So I did this in a red. So we've got all these different colours to fill our pot with. So when it comes to filling the pot, obviously we've got nothing on the bottom to hold them to. So what I recommend, I would put just a half a kitchen towel, screw that up so that goes in the bottom. And then what I'm going to do, I've got some brown paper, so just sort of brown paper bag, and I'm going to use this with my hot glue gun, because what I want to do is sort of wrap them almost in here, so then we can pop them inside. So it just gives an extra little bit of help when sticking them inside here. Let me just fold that over and pop that on so we can stick our first one in. And then that will all start to hold beautifully. So again...
So how does the paper help then, Debbie?
It just gives more structure when it's inside, because it's actually, you see, you've almost got that extra structure on the inside to pad it out, because there would be no padding around it. So it just seems to be the best way, I found the best way to put these on. Oh, my glue gun seems to keep wanting to go somewhere else. So I'm going to pop that one in. And once the glue starts to set, you can then add more to it. I need another, there's one, another glue stick. Push that through. So then I'm going to just add some in there, so we've got plenty going on. There we go. Oh, my glue stick just fell out.
Oh dear.
Don't want a glue stick falling out. And actually, a little tip here, if you heat up the base of your glue stick, just because the heat is on it, and then put it through, it will then stick to the next one. Oh!
What have you done?
Well, I pushed it and all the glue come out the end.
Oh dear, you've had an accident.
Oh no,
it's like the glue brigade all over again.
No, I'm terrible with blooming glue. So we're going to screw up some paper. We're going to mop that up and have that bit. It's already drying. And then pop some onto there. And then we can pop that in. And again, just putting this round it. Put in a bit here. It just means structurally it will stay where it is. And it actually looks like you've made all those, you've packed it around. You know, with like the packaging all around it. Joe's looking at me thinking, is this making sense?
Yeah, no, it does. Like when you buy a bouquet of flowers from a really fancy florist and they come in that lovely box.
Yes, exactly. And then we're going to pop this one in. I mean, obviously you would take your time more to pop them all in. I'm going to just squeeze this one in there and just hold that. And then I've got another grass, which I'm just going to pop down into that centre there. And we will just pop that in there. And there we go, Joe. I mean, how beautiful is that we've actually created in that little box. So remember, the box, the template you can get on the website. It's from our flower, the spring flower forming foam. And it's a great one to use with having all your succulents inside.
Absolutely. Whether you're putting them in your own bouquets that you're making, whether they're going in glass jars, kilner jars, bowls, little pots, wheelbarrows, they look fantastic wherever and however you use them, which is awesome. Talking of using them, lots of you have been using them at home and have been sending us in some pictures of them as well, which is fantastic. So Mary Kelly sent these ones into us. A little look at those. I think that is stunning. Really, really gorgeous. Check this one out that Mary Kelly's done as well. This one here around a candle, obviously a great way to use it there as well. And she's actually also done something with the collection that we're going to find out a little bit about in a bit more detail in just a moment. Just to recap the details of course, your wonderful succulents. Remember the flowers that you're getting in there, or the succulents I should say, the Merry Maiden swordgrass. You're also getting the Jade, the neon breakers, the baby aloe and the lila china. And then all of the different bits and bobs that you need to go with them too. So you're getting your, you all right? Debbie's having a good old chuckle over there to herself. I'm not sure why. You get the stencils and absolutely everything that you need to go in there. It's an awesome collection. It's a great price, and it's definitely going to be something that you're going to come back and look at time after time. We're going to go and have a look at the From the Heart collection next. Now, these are some beautiful stamps that Sharon has designed for us, which is fantastic. Details are here on your screen. We're going to pop back over to Sharon, who's going to take us through the boards. Sharon, what was the inspiration behind these ones?
Statement cards are all the rage. and you want a nice big sentiment that would nearly make the card itself.
Okay.
So rather than having a small sentiment and then having to fill it with die cuts, you want the message to be out front and center. And when these were designed, they were specifically for, like, way back when we all entered lockdown and we were all missing our friends, and you know, it was a bit lonely, but you wanted to send somebody a message to say you were thinking of them and wishing them a happy day, or just to bring a little bit of joy.
Yeah, they're
And
quite
something that even you could make a postcard.
Yeah.
So they're quite big, so it's about 13 centimeters by 6 centimeters, the sentiments.
So it is
they're
big.
quite large.
Yeah, and they're quite positive and upbeat, aren't they? Quite friendly, which, as you said, is absolutely awesome. I can't believe the price. Share with us exactly then what we're going to get included in here, if you would, Sharon.
Okay, so in each stamp, you get the sentiment, but you also get some decorative elements. So the first one we have is happiness is found in the simplest of things. So with this, you get your sentiment with your little butterfly and its swirl, but you also get a large butterfly and some flowers. So you can stamp those, cut them out, use them as your decorative elements. So you could make an all-in-one card with just the stamps in. So that's happiness.
Awesome.
Next we have You Make My Heart Sing. And you also get this gorgeous statement corner stamp, you know, with your swirls and your treble clef and your heart. So using this to create your backgrounds, using your sentiment up front and center, but make little charms, etc. I saw a project online and somebody had taken the Making Your Heart Sing, used it on shrink plastic and made gorgeous key rings. It was absolutely
nice.
Yeah, they were gorgeous little ones. So that's You Make My Heart Sing. The next one is called Laughter. So a day without laughter is a day wasted. So on this, you have like little bubbles, you know, little fun bubbles, and a smile is my favorite thing to wear. Little decorative elements as well. There's your bubbles, more flowers, your arrows, you know, just to create your backgrounds, create your foreground. I love this one. This one's my favorite. So this is Wishing You a Wonderful Day. So you could use this for birthdays, for weddings, for christenings, for men, for women. You get a little balloon and you get a cupcake, and you have a chance then to decorate it how you like. So you get little sprinkles in the stamp that is designed to sit over, or you can put a candle on it, or you can put a little cherry. So you can play around with that, and I'll show you a little sample in a minute that has all the variations of that. And of course, using these with your Spectre Noir inks and your tri-blends, it's absolutely amazing. And then we have, there are so many beautiful reasons to be happy. So with this, again, you get your statement sentiment, but you also get little leaves and flowers. So you could do a little bit of decoupage, paper piecing, little rose and a little bow. And then the last one then is called Friendship. So with this, you get a feather, you get little birds. There's a little bird on a branch there as well. So they're all different kind of styles and for different occasions and for different sayings. And I'll show you a couple of samples because these are absolutely gorgeous from the design team. So this one here, and it actually incorporates one of the lace frame dies in it as well.
Beautiful.
So this is, as you can see, how big that stamp is. And then how you can use your little decorative element to add more to it. And that's one of Sarah's signature pads there. And look at how gorgeous is that. So this makes the card the big sentiment. But this is the one, this is my favourite.
Oh, this is super
This
cute.
I was talking about. I'll bring it up a little closer so you can see the little cupcakes. So this is the same cupcake, but all look different. So you've got your sprinkles or you've got your cherry. And there's a little bit of sparkle pen there, clear on that to see. And this one has the candle on top. I love that.
Cute.
And then with the stamping as well. So this is ombre effect. So there's 3 different tones put on the ink pad and stamped. Very simple. And this is from the Irish lace, the vintage lace nest and dies as well. So this is just the outline base die.
Awesome.
And your stamp on the top. And this is a day without laughter is a day wasted. So this is an easel card. So look how you can make your little stoppers.
Cute.
As well. And this is the Venetian lace nest and die, and the stamp fills it. So they're a good mix and match there. And this is the So Many Beautiful Reasons to Be Happy. And this is all like layered and stamped. It was very clever. And another Have a Wonderful Day one, with just one cupcake, surrounded by flowers, but it's done on the nest and dies as well.
Nice.
And this is it From Your Heart. And this, see how that treble clef was used as just a background accent on it. And that's all it took just to lift it. But this is absolutely gorgeous. So this is using the Spectre Noir inks and just stamped over it. So create your background and stamp over it. You could even heat emboss it as well to bring out the detail. And here's another So Many Reasons, Beautiful Reasons to Be Happy. And that's an easel card. Again, with they're actually the scalloped oval Crafter's Companion nest and dies. And the same with the Friendship. So while the background of the card is the same, they look very different by using different stamps. So the stamps themselves are a great focal and center point and bring the cards to life. And use them as well in frames, use them in books, notebooks, covers, journals, even frames. Even some of these, that would be absolutely beautiful. Put that in a little wooden frame and send it to a friend as a lovely little gift.
Lovely idea. Really, really lovely. Beautiful stamps. They are really beautifully designed, and it's lovely to see how you compose them and put them together. I'll be coming back to you soon, Sharon. Sarah's Creation says, ooh, all in capitals. Love that sentiment stamp set. They are gorgeous, aren't they? Aish says, I've got these sentiment stamps as soon as they debuted because they are large and perfect for any card. They are large and in charge, aren't they? Susan says, I love these stamps. So many occasions you can use them for. Sarah says, Sharon cards are beautiful. Aisha loves the samples too. Great work to the design team there as well. Really beautifully designed stamps, Debbie, make creating things with them much easier, I can imagine.
Oh, do you know what, Joe? It makes them a pleasure to use because you've got that really bold, beautiful font and all these play on that word with them as well. So we're going to be using the beautiful. I just adore this, and it says there are so many beautiful reasons to be happy. And actually, if we all took stock of life now and again, this sentiment would apply to so many of us because there are so many beautiful things in life to be happy. You just got to look around at nature, haven't you, to find something beautiful. Now I'm going to be bringing in my jet black, and I'm going to be using my opaque pigment inks. We do have some pigment inks on the show. Now these really lend themselves to being used with these stamps because they're big and bold and beautiful. So the first thing I'm going to do is get my piece of card, and we're going to pop this onto here, and then I'm just going to lay down my magnets. Then we're going to place this over the top. Now, I always, with something like this, I like to just make my card a little bit bigger. And also, if I can find it, if it's at hand, I wanted to just use, I can't remember where, oh, there it is, I got it. I just wanted to use my anti-static bag. Because we're heat embossing, I thought it would be nice just to pop this on. All this does is it stops the powder, the embossing powder, going where I don't want it to be. So I'm going to position that there. Just I'm making sure I'm not even looking at the beautiful. I'm looking at the bottom and the top sentiments because they're the ones that are on a straight line. But don't worry too much. Like I said, that's why I like to cut my card bigger than I actually want it, and then I don't have to worry. So I put it on my stamping platform because I know if I miss any bits, I have absolute faith in it that I can stamp, re-stamp, go back down, and it will stamp beautifully every single time. So I'm just going to give this a rub over the top. Then we're going to pat that. And then we're going to stamp that onto our cardstock. Now, because I'm using pigment inks, I mean, that stamp's lovely,
Beautiful.
but I always like to put another layer on. And I do this with the pigment inks because I really feel like it gives that extra layer of wetness to put your embossing powder over.
What cardstock are you using here?
I'm using our stamping cardstock. You can use whichever one you like because it will go on. What I would say is quite a thickness of card because you're going to be heat embossing. If you were to use paper, it would probably shrivel up.
Okay.
So
shrivel up or singe
shrivel
maybe.
Up. Or singe.
You don't want to
even.
singe your
don't
project.
Want to singe. So all I've got is, you could use black embossing powder, but I've just got some clear embossing powder to put over the top. And all it means by using the anti-static bag, it means that it won't stick to anything other than the stamp that we've actually put on there. Now it's got a bit pale, as you can see. If no one is used to embossing powder, what you do with this, it's something that you heat up. We're going to use our heat tool. And this will melt.
Debbie, I know these are your favourite ink pads, aren't they? The opaque pigment ink pads.
Yes,
what makes them your favourites?
It's because you can do so many techniques with them. The main one being this heat embossing. So you can see it's starting to go dark now. What will happen, it will be raised and it will go shiny. I just love the way they work. I love that they're opaque, Joe, because it means we can layer them up because they're translucent. They are beautiful chalky finish on them. And they are just a dream to use. So the pigment ink pads stay wetter for longer, which means you can do more different techniques with them. And they look amazing.
They do look incredible. I love it when people do, a sort of faux enamelling look with these, where, you add multiple layers, Debbie. I think it is, especially on smaller, like die-cut pieces and stuff, I think it's awesome.
Yeah, they are just truly beautiful. I mean, and look at that stamp, Joe. I mean, these are beautiful designs which are amazing. And then what we're going to do, I'm just going to try and find my red pen. I thought I had it to hand earlier and now it's not there. So actually, I'm just going to go in with my coral blend. So let's just do this. On my finished one, I do have red, but there doesn't seem to be a red in there, or I'm not looking properly. Oh, I can see it now. Always the way, isn't it?
Has Debbie Robinson moved it?
She might have done, mightn't she? Shall we blame her? Yeah, getting her back. It's because it is dark red. Look, the colour, that doesn't look red, does it, in there? I thought it was a brown.
No.
So, but if it's round the other way, so we will just add red in. It's not going to really make a lot of difference to the colour we've done underneath. And then I'm just going to put in a bit of darker red.
It's gorgeous.
We'll do the same. Yeah, they really lend themselves to these slight pieces that we can colour in. Look incredible and so beautiful. I do love the design of these. And then we've got our green, so let's bring in our green. And then we'll just colour. And it's really easy to go. I'm using our brush markers, so our tri-blend brush, because they make it so easy. Then we're going with a darker in the middle. And then
I think the thing is with these as well, because they are such a nice big stamp, but there's nothing to stop you, separating bits out of these. You can use the embellishing elements, I'm guessing. You could even fussy cut around that sentiment if you wanted to, Debbie.
Yep.
There's lots of different things that you can do with them, isn't there?
Well, I was really impressed with the samples that Sharon was showing. There was, honestly, they were amazing. There was one where it sort of looked like it was sort of really 3D'd up and on almost like a ledge. It was beautiful. So
everyone is everyone's loving these in the comments. Jerry says, I love the fact that a stamp can fill the front of a card. Perfect for a card in a hurry. Eleanor Schween-Jones says, these sentiment stamps are so beautiful. They all have a sweet message. Joe, I love that we've heard it used for the first time. The fish. Joe, please ask the fish, which ink pads do I use to stamp onto vellum, please?
Onto vellum. Vellum is quite a hard one to stamp onto, so actually heat embossing vellum would be perfect. So I would use the pigment ink pads and you could use them. You don't have to heat emboss, it will dry, but it takes a while to dry. And what you will find, stamp on it, put a tissue over it and just take off the excess wet. It won't take the ink away, it will just take off the excess less wet and allow it to dry quicker. So the
Okay.
pigment ink pads are ideal to use. If not, you want to use something like not the water-based, you want to use the alcohol-proof on your vellum, and then that will work perfectly as well.
Sounds excellent.
So we've just popped this one to size. What I've also done, I'm going to bring in my finish ones here. So you can see I've just put different colours on our green, and then I've cut round some of the extra. So we've got our extra stamps on here, we've got our bow stamp. So I've just sort of stamped them out, and then cut around them, and then you can make beautiful embellishments. And we're just going to pop this card together. Now at the moment it seems like DL cards are extremely popular, so I thought I would do a DL size card because I hadn't done one for a long time, but they seem to be everywhere at the moment. So I'm just going to bring in this DL size, and these stamps really lend themselves to this style of card because they're sort of those elongated cards.
Does it stand for double length or dimension lengthways? We've had this conversation so many
Yes,
times.
I really don't know. What do you think, Joe?
I don't know.
Oh, someone confirmed, did they?
We haven't had it confirmed. We've debated it many times. We've got no firm answer. Let me know in the comments. Do you know what? I bet Sharon knows what DL means. Sharon, any ideas?
Deep length.
Any ideas, Sharon? We can see you, Sharon, by the way. Any idea what DL means?
No.
No? Okay, brilliant. Back to you then, Debbie. No, I don't think it means what Debbie thinks it means.
I could have said something really rude there.
You right, Debbie? So talk us through this then, Debbie. We can hear Sharon in the background now.
Do you know when you say something and it's only afterwards you realise what you said, and I'm so sorry. Right.
There's always something, isn't there? Right, I feel like the last time this happened, Debbie made these noises until the end of the show. She's going to be laughing all the way back to Bedford again.
I'm trying so hard. Right.
Right.
Let's pop
Aisha
this
says,
on, I can't
these
even
are perfect for a slimline card. Yeah, I think that's what Debbie... Let's just call it slimline going forward.
Yeah, who named it DL? Oh my god.
You're only laughing at yourself now.
I'm literally crying.
Uh-oh, here we go again, says Anne.
Oh, dearie me, right. I'm so sorry.
We haven't even heard Sharon's sat-nav story yet. Gosh, it's going to tip you right over the edge, that is.
Right, I actually made it through the demo, so there we go.
You made it through.
I made it through, yeah, absolutely. And I think you'll agree, absolutely beautiful.
Someone just said in the comments, DL means Debbie's laugh, apparently.
That's brilliant.
Oh, so Pauline says, dimension lengthwise is what it means. Misty says, I really enjoy watching Joe try to make Debbie laugh until she cries. I was no part of that. I was nowhere to be seen. Will Jewett says as well, Giggles is here again today, I see. Yeah, Pamela says DL means Debbie's laugh. Penguins 888888 says her giggles are infection. They are. Right, let me take you back through, again, just going to whiz through what you're getting in here. So remember, you've got friendship, you've also got happiness, from the heart. You've also then got laughter. Debbie's got plenty of that. Wonderful. And of course, beautiful. You're getting all of those included, which is absolutely amazing. Now, want to take you through the ink pads. We're going to do the quick dries. So let's go and have a look at these. So let me take you back through. I'm going to take you through all the colours that you're getting in here. They are awesome. We've really struggled with stocks on a lot of our ink pads. So it's lovely to have not only them back in stock, but also what you're getting is some really cool colours. So you've got baby blue. You've also got honey pot. This one here, which is Misty Meadows. That one there is your jet black. You've also got Lagoon. Lemon Tonic, which is one of the favourites, as is Midnight and Ocean Blue, Orange, or Naranja, as they say in Spain. You've also got Straw Bale there as well, and Debbie, not Debbie hasn't lost it, Sharon's lost it. You've also then got Smoked Emerald, we've got the Spring Meadow, and you've also got the Sharon's gone. You've also got the Frosty Jade in there as well. Absolutely gorgeous, those. Really lovely. Quick dries. What makes those so amazing, Debbie?
Sorry, I'm still laughing.
Wow. Quick dries. What's so great about the quick dries?
They're amazing because they are opaque, they are chalky finish, they take longer to dry than any other ink pad, which means you can do lots of different techniques with them. They blend beautifully together, they layer up on top of each other because they're opaque, and you can do heat embossing with them, Joe. So what is there not to love about pigment ink pads?
Absolutely. And then Debbie's favourite, as she was talking about a moment ago, the pigments. These are my favourite ones as well, just because I'm so obsessed with heat embossing. You've got burgundy. You've also got in here crushed velvet, grasshopper. You've got the honey. Oh, the lid's come off. You've got honey pot. We've got lagoon. You've also got lemon tonic, midnight, oasis. Midnight at the oasis there. And then what we've got is orange, parakeet, which is such a popular colour. Not Debbie's favourite, as we found out this morning. Pine tree, pink tulip, and we've also got spring meadow in here as well. £50 or $70 for either of them, which actually, as a Club Inspire Platinum member, is £40 or $56, and you get 50 bonus points on each of those. Oh, I've got inky. On each of those as well, which is fantastic. So definitely snap those up whilst they are there in stock. Right, let's see what you're saying in the comments. Eleanor Swing Jones says, oh goodness, I love Debbie's love. She's going to have me cracking up to the end of the show now. Mary Pat says, beautiful card as well, complete with giggles. Don't forget, everything is over on the website. Get over there, click that shop the show button. Now, we're going to do butterfly and blooms, but I do need to ask Sharon about... I've talked about this on air here at Crafters TV, Sharon, for about a year, and every time I think about the story, it makes me wet myself. So I wondered if you'd just share just a little version of it, of one evening, you trying to get from Crate and Craft to the Days Inn Hotel, which is where we all used to stay when we worked together at Crate and Craft. Just remind us how long, well, tell us the story first, but then let us know how long it took you as well.
Okay, so for people not familiar with the location of the hotel to Crate and Craft, it's an 8-minute drive.
About 8 minutes, yeah.
Great road.
Easy road, dual carriageway all the way.
Easy road, right. So, in my defence, I'm from the country. I was driving a hired car with no sat-nav. I'm not familiar with the motorways, etc.
Okay.
To cut an extremely long story, left the studio at 4 p.m. I was due to meet somebody back at the hotel for dinner. When I took the slipway to the hotel, it was blocked. So I had to do a 3-point turn and come back, and I said, where do I go now? So I kept going straight, around about 5 roundabout, and next minute I'm back at the studio. So I took out my phone, Google Maps, said, right, key to the hotel. But unfortunately for me, the sat-nav does not take into account any roadworks or anything. So I kept trying to follow it and kept hitting the roadworks, hitting the diversion, going around the roundabouts, and coming back to Craig Craft.
How?
After the 6th time I ended up back, we're talking 2 hours later.
2 hours?
I was totally hangry. I was using language like a sailor. I had to ring for help.
What time did you actually get back to the hotel?
9 p.m.
Sharon, that is still the...
After taking directions from 3 different people over the phone, I kept hitting different diversions, not realising that there were 3 different sets of roadworks. So the final call to somebody said, that's it, I give up, I'm sleeping in the car park at the studio, I'm outside here. The security guy came out to me and asked me if I was all right. Couldn't understand a word I was saying. I had to ring the hotel to get somebody else to talk me through it, and in the end they just said, just set your sat nav for Birmingham or for Peterborough City Centre, tell it you're sending to Oundle, and then come back in the back way. So there's a plaque now going up on the Felton Parkway for the great Cannonball Run by me, yeah.
Oh, Sharon, that story gets better every time I hear it. Thank you so much. I've talked about it for ages. Anyway, we're going to move on. It's turned into... I knew it was going to be trouble with Debbie on the show and Sharon in the show. I just knew it was going to be those shows.
Debbie can't talk.
No, she can't.
Ask Debbie about the Eurovision song we wrote about Easter in her car at Christmas.
Oh. A Eurovision song that you wrote in your car?
Debbie and I are entering the Eurovision with a song dedicated to Easter and that we wrote at Christmas.
Oh my God, I forgot all about that. I can't remember it, but it was so funny. It was all Sharon's doing.
Okay, that totally sounds like you, Sharon, and you've roped Debbie into that. Anyway, we're going to move on. Butterflies and blooms, Sharon.
Okay.
What a gorgeous collection. Can you ever have too many butterflies? Plot twist, the answer is no. And these are gorgeous ones, aren't they?
Oh, this collection, I can't believe that it's at that price.
I know, £40.
What's happening?
I know.
Somebody's drinking funny juice. Right, this collection, based on butterflies, but with a twist. So not only do you get the butterfly itself, but you get a mat and a decorative frame for it. So you can use these as general, just cut, mat and layer your butterflies, or you could do shaker cards, or you could do multiple layers in either vellums or mirror cards, texture cards. Bring them all together and you'll have some great butterfly cards. But each of the butterflies has dimensional features in them as well, so just to show you when you cut them. So that one there is the Mariposa one. This one here as well, you see these cuts here, you could use them as well. Stamp a sentiment in the middle. You don't have to use the butterfly in the center. Use it at the side. On the decorative frame that's there as well, there's little flowers. You could bring up the petals of those, add little gems to the center, or use these little hints, as I call them, to add little gems and butterflies in there as well. So that is the Mariposa. So this one here is the Vanessa. Again, we have our mat and layers, our decorative frame, and we have our butterfly, which has dimensional details in the frame. But if you die cut this, use the embossing mat on them, it brings up detail that you can ink, or if you use it on textured cardstock, you can sand it back. So you can create so many different looks with this. You'll also get 2 sentiments, but each of these sentiments has a mat on it as well, and your sentiment, and you can use them together and layer them up, and that's your sentiment. So sending love and thinking of you. We also have 2 stamp sets. So we've Butterfly Love here, where you will get stamp sentiments, but you'll also get outline dies. So don't worry about having to cut these out dies will come with them. So you make my heart flutter, spread your wings, or butterflies. Ramon does. It's not too late to transfer yourself, or transform yourself. Transfer. You'll get 2 large butterflies, but you'll also get the negatives in a smaller size. So stamp these, heat emboss them, colour them with your Spectrum Noir, but you can also layer the smaller one over the top to give it more dimension and decoupage. Then this one is the Butterfly Happiness. Again, 2 large butterflies with the 2 small ones. Then we have the sentiments and some decorative elements. Like, see the bubbles that are here and the beautiful stamp from the last collection? You can mix and match those across the collections as well, so it adds to the versatility. Then in the collection you will get 2 Quilling dies. So one is the rose and one is the peony. But these Quilling dies come with extras. So you will get the leaves, but you'll also get this die here, and that's called a calyx. So when you've quilled your flower and you turn it over, the back of it has the workings, you can see it. But if you were to cut 2 of these, glue it over the back, it will hide all that, make it much prettier. So if you wanted to use that to make a buttonhole or to put wire down through it, it will disguise the bottom of it and make it a lot nicer looking. So they're the 2 flowers that you get in that. So I'll just show you quickly some samples that were made by the design team. Now look at this. This is beautiful. It's a coloured background made with the ink pads, but then it's simply the pink texture cardstock, and you stamp on it twice, but on the top one it's cut out, just fussy cut, and then we just add some gems here. There's our rose and our peony with our sentiment, and the butterflies and the flowers are sized to complement each other. Here's another one here, embossed background and just inked. So even though it's just inking once without colour, it's very effective. It lifts it. And then we have our beautiful little Quilling flowers on the side. And you can mix and match the foliage of the Quilling flowers as well. Now look at this gorgeous shaker card. I love a shaker card. You'll see here just the outside edge of the frame used with the inner die, and it's not using any of the bigger butterflies at all. So it's great for as a nesting die or a layer die. Smaller little stamp with a tag. And in the middle of the Quilling flowers, you can put stamens as well. So don't be afraid to experiment and play around with that. And I love this one. So this is a different colour and a different feel. So this uses the outside frame, the bottom layer, and the butterflies, and see how the dimension that you can get when you lift these up. Isn't that absolutely gorgeous?
Really
and we
nice.
have our sentiment. And then just using different tones, different colours, you get different looks the whole way. This is nice and bright. That's quite vintage looking. But that's how versatile these collections can be. And I love this. This is a redone. I'm just going to turn this over to see who made this one. So this was Carol on the design team. But you see, she's bunched up all the Quilling flowers, just used 2 of the small butterflies, and then the sentiment on that. And then we've just 2 more now. And so this is the Vanessa, layered up again, decoupaged up, bit of mirror card, and matching paper in the background. And then of course here is the Sending Love, and this is a gatefold card. So it's just using it as a topper and as a closer on the card, how big it is and how effective it is. And don't forget as well, with the Quilling flowers, you can cut them out of vellum, felt, fabric, pleather, loads of different materials. You don't just have to use paper on them.
Awesome. Oh, they are beautiful, Sharon. They really, really are. And value for money wise, I think it's really got to be the deal of the show because they're half price in the UK, but around about half price. £40.97 if you are in the UK, £53.78 if you are in the US. However, Platinum members shut the front door and chase the Smetterlings up the drive because £32.78 if you get them as a Platinum member, or $43. I know. Amazing, amazing value for money there on these. Lot of people sympathising about roundabouts seems to be the theme of the comments at the moment. Francine, I really do love it when they have a good laugh. It really gets me laughing too. My husband says he always knows when Joe is on because the laughing is so out of control I start to cry. I'm all right with that, as long as we raise a smile. Ross Overcash wants to know, I wonder what a pub crawl would be like with Debbie, Sharon and Joe. Oh, I think Sharon would drink us all under the table.
No, Sharon's not a drinker.
Oh, really?
But she's the funniest person on earth.
She really is. She really, really is. A lot of love as well for the flower dyes. Sarah's Creation loves them. Michelle Knits loves them as well. And Pamela says as well, the Butterfly and Blooms collection is absolutely gorgeous. And Debbie, I believe you're going to take us through something with them.
Yeah, absolutely. I love this collection. And the Mariposa is one of my favourite dyes ever. I am definitely a blooms girl and a butterfly girl. I love everything in this collection. So I've got the Thinking of You dye, which I'm going to cut out of white. You get the outside cutting edge, which I'm not kidding is the most intricate, beautiful dye. This cuts this centre out. So I'm going to just place my butterfly in the centre of it just to cut that out at the same time. And then I'm just going to make sure that's all, in place. In fact, I'm going to use some low-tack tape just to put over the top. Because I don't want that to slip and cut into the next dye. So we'll just pop that there just to make sure. And then I've got my outside cutting edge, and this one here is the outside cutting edge for the Thinking of You. And then we're going to run that through our Gemini. So obviously I'm using a big platform because I've got my Gemini out, but if you did want to use a smaller one, these dyes will all fit through your Gemini Junior, your Gemini Midi, or any A5 cutting machine that you've got. So the crunching in the machine is all good. It means that the dyes are cutting beautifully. They really do cut like a dream, which is amazing. And then we're going to bring them out and show the designs. Now what I also did just before is there's a small rose dye in there. Now it works the same way as your Succulent, so you will cut it out. I've just cut one out and you'll see it has that perforation in the middle for you to fold. So we're going to do exactly the same with this as what we did with the Succulent. So they work in the same way. They do this because Sharon's designed these because then it fills the gaps in between. So can you see there's no gaps, all the flowers sort of go together. And then we're just going to put some red liner tape on that. So let me grab my red liner tape, there it is. And we're just going to put that on that base piece, and then we will, I will show you the dyes because they are so stunningly beautiful. What I love about these dyes, the Mariposa and the Vanessa, is that you can layer them in all different colours and you can do them in different variations, which is so smart with a dye that you can do all these different ways just using the die cuts. So take this one out. Oh, we've got my sticky tape on there. Doesn't want to come away. There we go. Oh, let's just take all these pieces out. They will all pop out. So they're all coming out, but actually I'm just going to bring in one because we've already got them cut out. So let me take my bits here and get rid of all my workings, and then you'll be able to see better. That's quite smart. I didn't realise that did that, but actually I've created a rim there which has come out. So this has come out. Oh, we're all a bit tangled. Let me untangle. Because I cut that, this would cut out anyway. It would cut out that middle section. But because I put my butterfly in the middle, it's actually cut a rim I didn't even realise that it would do
Nice.
that. You could then put that rim in a different colour, then your butterfly in a different colour inside. You could create so many different ways. Yeah, I never knew it did that, Joe. But of course it does, because it cuts out all those pieces. So I'm just going to take them all out the way, and then we're just going to drop this down, and that will come out. And then we've got our butterfly here. So we've got our mats and layers, this one here. And then we've got our layer for the top. So this one will go over the top. So what I'm going to use is our dotty tape pen. I'm going to grab myself, in fact, I'm going to use this piece here, which is, no, I'm not. I'm going to use this piece. I'll tell you why I won't use that piece in a minute, because we're actually going to emboss that piece of card. And I'm going to just use my dotty tape pen to go over here. And the great thing is because how the dotty tape pen works, it will only go over the actual intricate die cuts, and it will stay, then the rest of the dots will stay on the paper underneath.
Awesome.
One bit there.
We were just talking about how much we love those dotty tape pens, weren't we?
We were, yeah, absolutely. They're our favourites, aren't they, Joe? And Joe's as well.
Yeah, I love them.
Yeah, they are amazing.
I mean, the crafting that I do with them is questionable. I mean, it involves sticking pieces of paper to my flashcards. That's crafting, surely still, isn't it?
Well, yeah, I would say so.
Yeah.
You're doing a crafting show.
I am.
Have you done any crafting yet,
So I
Joe?
do a bit of crafting, yeah. Done a few craft-alongs recently, didn't I? I haven't done one for a while, actually. I need to do one again.
You haven't done one with me, Joe?
I haven't done one with you. I did an exploding box with Debbie, which I very much enjoyed.
Oh, that's good.
What else did I do? I did one with Craig as well. I crochet. I haven't crocheted anything for ages, but specifically, I like crocheting animals. Little stuffed animals.
Yeah.
Amigurumi. Myself and Georgina, who's producing, we were always keen. I was going to call it something else then. Keen crocheters when we were when we worked together in a previous job, didn't we? Or brochet, as I call it when I do it, because I'm cool.
You're a bro.
Brochet.
That's funny. Not that it's funny that you crochet.
No, but okay. Oh, Debbie. Not long now, Debbie. 22 minutes.
Right, what I'm going to bring in now, Joe, is I'm going to bring in the folder from Sharon's Succulents range. So this is the Geo-wire trellis, and we're actually going to emboss into our piece of paper. So it's from from the watercolour pad. You know how I like the watercolour pad. And I'm going to bring in my two. I'm trying to find now. I've put them down somewhere. Where are they, Joe? Have you took them? That's weird. Oh, here they are. Here they are, my plates. Apologies there. So we're going to bring in our plates, just top and bottom, and run that through our machine. Because it's a 2D folder, that's all we need. So running that through, and it just gives a really subtle effect in the background, so adds some interest as well as having those gorgeous pattern papers. So taking this one out, and you can really, well, you might not be able to pick it up on the cam, but you can see, look at the detail.
Can see it there.
Yeah, it gives a beautiful detail, and it gives a texture onto the paper as well, and looks incredible. So this is just something a little bit different to add onto your design. So we've put our papers inside. I've created my card blank, but I've actually cut a piece off. Just again, it's just to add that focal point of interest. And then I'm going to pop this down the side. I keep using my dotty tape pen. Actually, I should be using a normal one, but it's at hand. And I'm pretty sure I haven't got another normal one. So we'll have to restock up under the shelves. So popping that on. I do love using black to frame everything. So you can see there we've got our beautiful design with that gorgeous embossing on the side. Then we've got our topper and our extra pieces here. Oh, and then we haven't done yet, Joe, our quilling flower.
Oh.
So we will do that in just a second. So we'll just bring them in so I don't forget.
Quilling, obviously quilling flowers is awesome, isn't it? We had a quilling image sent in, didn't we, of some
yes, we did.
Quilling, opposed to
proper quilling.
flower quilling.
Proper quilling.
Quilling Quilling or flower quilling?
Quilling.
No, but quilling is something I'd like to have a go at. Something I see a lot. We did a quilling craft kit, didn't we?
Did we? I never knew that. Wow.
We did a quilling craft kit, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know that. So what I'm going to do is I don't want my wings, so I'm going to just bend my wings over.
You're not going to cut them off?
No,
Oh, sorry.
I just don't want them stuck down.
Oh, sorry.
So
you said I don't want my wings. I thought,
Oh no, I mean I don't want them. Sorry, I didn't finish my sentence. I'm terrible for doing that, Joe.
Are you?
Yeah, do you not notice that?
No.
I say things and then I just don't, and then I realise I've not finished the end of my sentence because I'm thinking
We
it
know
in
what
my
you mean, Debbie.
yeah.
This is the main thing. As long as we can follow.
I'm thinking it in my head, and I think then I've already said it and I've not said it. So I don't then finish it. So I'm keeping this nice and pink and white, which looks pretty. I'm then adding these extra layers underneath, Joe, just to, again, it's all about raising images, adding detail. So I'm just gonna pop some little foam pads, they are little ones, those ones, onto my piece underneath. And then we're going to add that as a shadow, so coming up, and I'm leaving it quite wide there at the bottom, and then we will just stick this piece on. So popping this down this side, and then I'm going to do the same with this one. I'm going to see if I've got some bigger, there we go, I think these ones are bigger. Foam pads just to, oh, this is a whole strip, that was handy, look at that.
Oh,
oh
nice.
No, it's not. It just come off in one strip. I thought, oh, I've not seen ones like that before.
Oh, Debbie,
sorry. That was a little bit wasteful, wasn't it? Oh, that's a new one, so I won't do that again. There we go. Well, we will, but just a little bit shorter. So pulling them ones off, and then we're going to do the same, mounting this on top. Just over there, so it gives us that really beautiful detail, and actually these wings would be beautiful glittered, and then we're just going to bring this over here, but we do need to break it up a bit. So what I am going to do, we'll stick this down, and then we're just going to put a few quilling flowers on. So popping that one at the side, lifting up our wings, and then I'm just going to bring this in just to show you how the quilling flowers work. Exactly the same as we do the pop this on here, exactly how we do the succulents. You're just going to quill that round with whatever you use. You might even use your pokey tool to do that. But what I love about these ones, they create lovely little bud flowers. And again, if you was to, in fact, let's carry on. Let's just, I've got one here, so we might as well layer two up together. So you can have them small, or you can make them as large as you want. Then you just keep quilling round and round. So really, really beautiful. And they just make gorgeous little flowers. I mean, look at that for a rose. I mean, so lovely. So what I've got here, Joe, I've got some little ones where I've just made the singular ones. So I'm going to take one of them away, and I think we'll use this bigger one and these two to create our flowers. And all I'm going to use, I'm going to find my 3D glue gel. Hopefully that's not got a blockage, which it hasn't. And then we're going to stick a little bit on the top there, and then pop these in the middle.
Why does it get a blockage?
Because it dries on the top.
Right.
And it doesn't harm any of your glue. It's just the very top bit, and you just have to pull the plug.
Awesome.
Yes. So absolutely fine. And there we go, Joe. I mean, I think you'll agree that is so beautiful with all the what you use in your stash. It just looks incredibly stunning.
Really does look beautiful. I'll give you the details again for the Butterflies and Bloom collection. It's a half price deal. Should we do a demo of the show, Debbie?
Oh, yes.
All right, then let's do that. Oh, of course, I'd forgotten about that. Let's do demo of the show now. We'll give you a few minutes to vote on that. I always forget about the demo of the day thing. It throws me. So, 3 different options then for you to choose from. Let's have a little look at them.
So number one is our little pot, which we decorated and put all our, that's all stuck fast in there now, which is great.
Uno.
Numero uno.
That's one in Spanish.
Then we've got our beautiful number two.
Numero dos, that is 2 in Spanish.
And then we've got our third one, which we've just done, which is our butterfly one.
Numero tres, which means 3 in Spanish. You vote 1, 2 or 3. Crafters TV on Facebook, Crafters Companion across on YouTube. We're going to go back to the succulents because they are proving very, very busy. You've got about 4 or 5 minutes to vote on that card of the show, then we'll do card of the day. But actually, I could tell you about this collection, but why would I do that? Oh dear. I didn't touch that. You saw. Oh. I think I was very vigorously wafting and it went over. Anyway, I tidy this up. So what better way for me to do that than us going back to Sharon and she can take us through the collection. How's that sound, Sharon? While I tidy this fine mess up.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Take us through what we're getting.
Okay, we'll go through the succulents first. So we have the Lila China. And of course, this is the double-sided quilling flower. So you get your Lila China, you get your baby aloe, and this has all the little spine details that's in it. Then we have our neon breakers. And then of course we have the jade that I demoed earlier. And as I mentioned, instructional sheets for all these are available on the website. And this is the only one that's the dimensional one. Then we have our swordgrass, and this one is really pretty in the oranges colours as well. Or you could do an orange strip, then cut a green strip, put one over the other, quill them together, and you have a two-tone grass as well. And then we have our Merry Maiden. And coming up then, we have our decorative elements. So this is the plant pot die, and this is so versatile. It has detail in it, so once you cut it, if you put it back through with the embossing folder or the embossing pad over it, it will bring out the detail. And then if you just give it a light sanding back, it will bring that up for you. So the way to use this would be to maybe curve it in your hands, put a couple of foam pads behind it, put it on the front of your card, and then tuck your plants into it. And then we have our gift and pot labels. So this could be a plant label, and these can be gift pads that can go on it. And then our plant pot poke. So you get your base, but you also get your little label to go over that. So do that in any colour, stamp your sentiment on it, use foam pads, and then pop that into your plants. And then we move on to the embossing folders. So we have the geo wire trellis, and this is a lot of wire detail in it, quite geometrical, but you could use this and cut this out in strips as well, decorate the front of your plant pot or use it in the background. And then we have our succulent frame. The details in this embossing frame mirror the stamps and die set that you get in the collection. So you can actually, in some of these, use the outline die from these plants to cut out specific detail within the folder as well once it's embossed. And then we have our garden frame. So this one here is a little ribbon detail top and bottom. You have a center circle that's perfect for stamping, adding a label in the center, bring out the detail maybe with your glitter pens or even some metallic pastes as well.
Nice.
Perfect for those. And then we have our geranium. This is my favorite. It actually works great when you use your gold or copper glitter markers and you bring out the detail of the plants as well. And then you add your succulents around it. It's very effective. And then finally, you get the stamp sets that I mentioned earlier, but you also get outline dies for these, so don't worry, you don't have to fussy cut. And it has some sentiments as well that are perfect for your plant poke or your labels. And they say things like, just a note to say hello, or I love you lots, thinking of you, sorry for being prickly. So if you've been a little bit of a pain, you can apologise, but it's a succulent plant.
Can do that there. Brilliant.
Yeah. Okay, can I show you some of the samples, because these are absolutely amazing. So these are done by the design team. Quite simple. It's just 5x5 squares, layered up, set up with the decorative plants and your labels. So that's your baby aloe, your Lila China, And in the background here, you have your little stamped and cut out sentiments. And how about this? This is the plant pot. Use a little bit of muslin along the top, but look at your little plant pot poke with your sentiment. But the grass is in the background with your embossed layers as well. How effective is that? It takes very little to make an amazing card. And look at this one. This is amazing. How gorgeous is that? So with this, she's just used the stamped elements to fill the pot. And then over here, we have the Leela Chinas and our Merry Maidens and our grasses. And then, of course, we have our Jade, our Merry Maiden, and we have our Neon Breaker in that. Stamp sentiments. And here we go again then. Just using the stamps to create your background and using your tags. Very effective and very easy cards to make.
Yeah, really gorgeous, Sharon. Love them. Very different. They really stand out. Very on trend as well, which is fantastic. Right, I just need to do the card of the show. No, the card of the day vote is what we need to do. The winner of the card of the show was the Schmetterling, by the way, which is awesome. So you need to pick now whether you want number 1, which is Rihanna's favourite card, Umbrella, which was from the Year of Crafts earlier. Or, but I love that Debbie signs it now as the fish. Or number 2, which was also from the fish. And that is your butterflies and blooms. So 1 for the umbrella or 2 for the Schmetterling. Brolly, Schmetterling. You choose. You have got 3 minutes to vote in the comments, please. So knock yourself out, whether you're over on Facebook or across on YouTube. Do you reckon we can squeeze one quick demo in, Debbie, before the end of the show? What do you think?
Yeah, definitely.
Brilliant.
Yeah, I was thinking, what haven't we done? I feel like we've covered everything. And then I realised, actually, there's one we haven't done, and that's the Neon Breaker. And it's a great one. It's got a really good shape. It's almost got like these bell-like, as you can see, the shape of them, these bell-like leaves on them with sort of a deckly edge. It's such a gorgeous one to work with. I'm going to do 2 colours because I thought it would be really nice to show it, because this one, it is the one that has the sort of purpley blue tones to it, if I remember rightly. So it's a gorgeous design. Again, really easy, because I've got the Gemini and the pressure. I'm putting 2 pieces of card through with the 1 die, so we can get 2 cuts in 1 pass through the machine, which is truly amazing. So popping those out, and you can see it's cut those beautifully well. So pulling all these out, just getting through all those little spiky bits. And there we go, we've got our 2. Now again, we're going to do exactly the same as what we've been doing in the show. And we're going to, first of all, I'm going to fold the 2 pieces outwards. That just gives me, I like to do this first because it's easier then than when you manipulate them and then do the folding. It's just a bit more fiddly. So this way, doing that already puts it in there and reinforces that line. And I'm going to do the same as the other one. I love this paper, it's so gorgeous, from our pads. It's this purple or the lilac, it's almost got like a sort of, I don't know, it's got like
lavender-esqueness to it.
Yeah, but it's almost got like a little two-time
lavender-esqueness. No, I said esqueness. I don't think you can.
You said lavender-esque.
It's got to be lavenderness or lavender-esque or lavenderness. You can't have esqueness, sorry.
Esqueness.
Surely I meant to say, not sorry. I'm just going to stop talking now. This is what happens in the last 6 minutes of the day here at Crafters TV.
Right, so let's bring my mat in again, and we're going to bring our ball tool. So using our ball tool, and I'm going to come in with this, and all we're going to do is just go backwards and forwards in the centre. So really quickly.
I love lavender. There is a cottage in the village where my parents live called Lavender Cottage, and it's basically, it's a beautiful thatched cottage. It's like on the high street, so it's really like on the road, but it has these massive, huge dense beds of lavender, borders of lavender all the way outside, and you can smell it from like halfway down the village. It is absolutely gorgeous. I love the smell of lavender.
Yeah, me too, absolutely.
Does it flower for quite a long time, lavender, as well, over the summer?
Yeah, right over the summer.
So
in
the
fact,
whole
it's
summer,
probably,
pretty much?
Yeah, and it's only really starting, because it looks quite dry this time of year, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But it will now start to flower. What I love about lavender is the bees. I love bee watching. I remember when I was a child, down the bottom of our road, someone had a, oh, I did that wrong, didn't I? I meant to turn that over and do the opposite way. Somebody had a lavender bush at the bottom of our road, and it used to have hundreds of bees on.
Wow.
And as kids, I think we just never used to be very scared of them. And I remember we would be around the lavender and stroke the back of the bees.
Amazing.
It was, so amazing. And I've never forgotten that. I loved it. And I've always loved bees since then. And actually, do you know my name, Joe? Deborah, because I'm a Deborah, actually means in Latin queen bee.
Does it?
Yes, yeah.
Wowzers, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So maybe that's why I'm a bit of a.
I feel like it's only in the
person.
last few years that we've really understood the importance of bees, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, in the last sort of, I have personally, so I guess is all I can say of that. I can say the demo of the day, by the way, was the butterfly. So the gorgeous little schmetterling. I'm going to pop the fish on the back of there and pop that on the shelf, Debbie.
Yeah, that's definitely going to stick, isn't it? Now. I quite like having a nickname though, Joe. Have you ever had a nickname?
Yeah, at school, I like my food, let's put it that way. My nickname at primary school was Pie. Just Pie, nothing else. Pie, that was it. Nothing else, not the Pie or King Pie or Joe the Pie. No, Pie, just Pie. Thank you, Debbie, for, thanks for being understanding. Anyway, that demo looks lovely, Debbie. Did you have any growing up? The other one, obviously, Joseph Remblance. Joseph Ambulance was the other one.
Joseph Ambulance.
Joseph Ambulance. Joe Resemblance was the other one.
Oh, you resemble him, yeah.
Joe Resemblance. My middle name's Leonard, so people used to call me Lionel because that used to really wind me up. So just a few, you know.
Mine was Peapod.
Sorry?
Peapod.
Peapod?
Peapod,
Why?
yeah. I think because I was little and my maiden name was Pearson.
Right.
So I was just called Peapod.
Peapod. What about Sharon? Did you have any nicknames growing up?
Pain.
Sorry?
Pain. Did you say pain?
Pain and nuisance. Okay. Sharon, I can see what's going on with Sharon. The lights are going on. I can see the cogs whirring, but she's like, I'm just not getting into that, Joe. I'm not going to get myself in trouble, is what she's thinking.
And there we go. We've finished our flower without too much laughing. Gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous.
Really, really beautiful. Massive thanks, of course, to Debbie. Let's cross back to Sharon. Sharon, can I just say it's been an absolute hoot having you on the show this evening. I have had a riot. I hope you have too.
I did, yeah. It was brilliant. Yeah, it was great. Hope it's back on before we do it again.
Yeah, absolutely. That was Debbie, by the way. Absolutely. It'd be a pleasure to have you back as well. Enjoy your evening, Sharon. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Hopefully we'll see you back here soon.
Oh, you too, and thank you.
Take care. Bye. Oh, what a pleasure to have Sharon there on the show with us, as always. Such a talented lady, and also one of the funniest women in the... What now? Can you hear Debbie? What's going on?
I just dropped the heat towel on my foot and it really hurt.
Oh, Debbie.
I was trying to be really quiet. I was like, oh.
Well, you were failing, Debbie, is what I can tell you. Thank you, Debbie. Debbie, it was interesting, as it always is.
Always, Joe.
Big thanks to the fish, as ever. Should we have a little look at what's coming up tomorrow on here on Crafters TV? Awesome. Let's take a look. Because it is a very busy day. The Softer Side of Life, our destination. She is fine, by the way. Debbie is okay. No Debbies were harmed. Our weekly destination showing here at midday, 7 a.m. Eastern Time. Loads of fun, loads of inspiration. Myself and Bernie here with that. Then, really looking forward to this tomorrow. Myself and Jan will be here with a mixed media craft class. In fact, you know what? When you come back, I'm going to show you, just give you a sort of idea of the sort of thing that you're going to be able to achieve, because this is what Jan made in her last mixed media show, and it was absolutely excellent. Really excited to see what she's going to teach us. Something that not a lot of you are familiar with. That'll be awesome tomorrow. It's been a fantastic day. A massive thanks again to Sharon and to Debbie. To you guys at home, George Squared next door in the gallery as well. Tomorrow is a brand new day. It's a Super Sunday, so I hope you'll join us then for that. If you're here in the UK, enjoy your evening. If you are stateside, enjoy the rest of your day. And I'll see you back here tomorrow, bright and early. Bye-bye.